Hello everyone and welcome back to another Universe Sandbox video, and today we're going to be doing another episode of Evolving a Custom Solar System from Birth to Death version 4. Yeah, we've done 4 of these now, that's cool, but there's still plenty more that we can try out with this. As long as you guys keep enjoying it, we'll keep doing them. So without further ado, we're just going to hop straight into this and see how everything is doing. So obviously the inner solar system there is still pretty good, but yeah, some of you guys said to me in the comments, just a way to spice things up a bit, obviously, because this is completely fictional, and obviously we're in control of absolutely everything here. Someone said to maybe bring in some rogue objects or interstellar objects that fly by this system, just to maybe have a little tweak with the orbits and stuff. So I saw one of the comments, and yeah, someone put, can in this simulation make a rogue planet or gas giant pass through the system to make things a little more interesting. So what we're going to do is, we haven't ran the time very far so far. We haven't changed the star since we finished off last episode. But what we can do is, how about a rogue gas giant or a rogue brown dwarf or something with some decent mass that could make things a little more interesting? Because obviously, if we're passing and trying to simulate billions of years, maybe something does hop through the system every once in a while. So, what sort of object do we want to launch in? I mean, this could be interesting. I mean, we could go with anything. We could go with a really large object. We could go with something a little smaller. We could go with like a comet or anything like that. I mean, like the objects that are flown through our solar system. We could have just small little asteroids and stuff. Or maybe we could go with something a little larger. We could go, for instance, for a brown dwarf or a really, really small red dwarf star. So, how about that? That could really, really spice things up. So, I'm just trying to think. We could go with a large gas giant. You know what? I think I'm going to go with a red dwarf. We could go with a brown dwarf, actually. A rogue brown dwarf. One of the gaser objects. So, why not go with gaser green? What we're going to do is we're going to launch. So, this is coming in from God knows where. And how fast should we have it? Because, obviously, we can pull it at a custom speed if we want. So, for instance, kilometers a second. Why don't we have it traveling fairly quick at 10 kilometers a second, a little quicker than a normal speed, and then it's going to be heading on a pretty close course to the center of the system. So we're going to spawn it there. Pause. So there it is. Okay, so you can see this object. It has 14.9 masses of Jupiter. It's a rogue object coming in from somewhere else in the galaxy, I guess. So gas green, brown dwarf, and that is now on a collision course. Well, not a collision course, but a flyby through our system. So we're going to click play and see if this causes any problems. I mean, it could move the star a bit. We know it surely will have some problems with the orbit. So at this point in time of the system, we're going to see sort of what trouble this could cause. So as we can see, it's entering the system's outer reaches now. So we're going to see. So we can see there's some planets nearby, or some of the dwarf planets out there. It could have some drastic effects on stuff as it flies by. We can see some orbits that have already been changed a bit, but as it hops in the inner solar system now, it's going to have a flyby of the star, so it launches through. You can see it had a slight wobble on some of the orbits, but there you go. So that is a interstellar passer through our system. So we can see, I thought it would have caused more, but maybe something a little larger would have to pass through this system in the future. So there you go. So there's our first sort of attempt at a interstellar traveller through this system. So as we can see, that's on that's leaving the system now. So right, let's now speed things up. And maybe any imbalance, we can just delete that because that's passed and it's gone. So, okay, that's cool. Right, so just look at the system as it moves through space. I am not moving. My camera is perfectly still now, but you can see the star's moving at 200 odd meters a second. So this system is actually moving on its own, with the star being pulled by some of the planets. So pretty good stuff. You can still see it. Yes, I think these objects out here, these two ones at the far, I think they did have the sort of effect from that gas giant's presence coming in here, or that brown dwarf, I should say. So pretty cool. Right, but anyways, onto the star itself, and we'll have a look at the stats of the objects as well before we evolve a little more. So as we can see here, we've got Hellgod, obviously, looking awesome as always. Then we have Korot 7b here. This one is also 500 degrees. Trantor, 105 degrees there. Got the bit of the frozen glitch. Cryotopia, a world that was once probably a good place for life, but it's currently got quite a hot temperature going on though. But it still looks, you could probably still have some life here. I mean, obviously some areas are going to be quite hot, but maybe some would still be fairly warm. So possibly that world is very on the edge of being habitable. 87 degrees at the next planet out. Sea God to this world is probably past its time as well. And then moving further out, so I think we had Beowulf next. So this one is still cold, hasn't warmed up yet. So it's only at minus 30 degrees. So we need a bit more temperature to get that guy going. So if we have a look at the zone as well, if we press the Z button, isn't it? Is it Z? I can't remember how you activate it, but yeah, let's just put it on. So there you are. And then we've got Capoodle next planet out, minus 30 degrees there as well. So yeah, the zone, we need the red area to sort of reach these two to get them warmed up. We've got Banded 27, obviously the first of the gas giants in here. Wasp 6b, another large one. We've got GM11 here. This is a world that is constantly having changes with the gas giant presences out here. So yeah, this world is going to be quite weird, but maybe it'll warm up eventually. So yeah, there's mainly out in the solar system, not in the outer areas. We've got a lot of gas giants and stuff sort of clustered in there. So interesting stuff indeed. But yeah, there we are. So now, also we're going to throw a save in just so the orbits save in our current states. So we're just going to do that, replace. And then obviously the star itself. I'm going to revolve a little more so we can see luminosity is 4.9. So if we make the star a little bigger, obviously, oh, we need to make this bigger actually. So we're going to slowly get brighter. This means that red zone is slowly increasing. So we're going to roughly go to where, start to reach where Beowulf is there. So now let's continue. So let's see how sort of things change here. So we can see the closer inner planets, we should start seeing some higher temperatures here. So we can see at Korot 7b is actually the hottest planet. Right here we can see Helgod is obviously the second planet out. So that one's warming into the 400s now. We can see Korot itself though going into the 600s now. So it's getting dangerously hot there. So yeah, the hottest planet, that's past the Venus temperatures of Venus's normal day temperatures now. So we can see that is yeah, that star's getting a little more active now. So we can see the clouds here though, they look so cool. Got to say that it's such a good looking world. Obviously when it's all hot and heated up, I mean those clouds look menacing. So I mean in a way it is kind of like a Venus really. We can't really see to the surface too much. I mean if we turn the clouds off, there you go. That's the surface underneath, but it's kind of hidden away by those clouds. So yeah, pretty aggressive. You can see the surface underneath is just dead as well. It's very, very dark. So very just sort of, yeah, very extinct really. How are we doing at the next sort of planets out? So we should start to see, this is only travelling at a few minutes. Let's actually have a few days pass here. Then we'll really start to see temperature changes. So 8 days. Trantor, how are we doing? 120 degrees there. Probably try and put it to 0. I mean, yeah, it looks like it's got the frozen glitch there though, so that's a bit annoying. Sea God, 130 degrees there. Cryotopia, 65. That's increasing as well. How about the next planet out though? Beowulf. That should be starting to see a bit of temperature. Yeah, minus 27 degrees. Okay. But we'll let things run nice and fast just to see. So you can see it drastically. Yeah, that planet was changing, but it has a bit of a weird orbit. You can see at one point it gets closer, the next point it gets further away again, due to obviously the orbits in here. So that's interesting. Next planet out. What about Capoodle? So that's at minus 16 degrees now, but it also goes to minus 20s. Okay. Interesting. Korot 7b, 600. Yes, that's still obviously very hot. Helgod, 389. So that does go into the 400s now. Okay. Trantor 126. That's still having a few changes. It's very annoying that it's not cooperating. I mean, we can obviously change the water around and stuff, but it still just freezes up, which is really frustrating. So that's a bit annoying. Maybe all the water just disappears for some reason. Who knows? So there you go. So how are we looking over here now? So for an unexplained reason, the water has all disappeared. So there you go. So you can see just a generic sort of more looking object now. So there you are. Okay. So how are we doing? Okay. So let's keep things running. Have a bit of time to evolve with the orbits as well. We can go as fast as possible. See if any of the orbits out here have changes. There is still a lot of stuff wobbling around there. All just, you can see this object here. So one of Gigaman's objects. You see, it's having an effect with one of the dwarf planets out here. So you can see there is stuff all going on in the outer system. It's just the orbits are all still staying fairly stable, and they're not having anything eject. I'm very surprised that nothing's been ejected, I have to say. So maybe a interstellar traveller further down the road. Maybe a red dwarf or something popping through this system. Maybe that would have some sort of an effect on how this system plays out, really. So that could be rather interesting. But let's just keep things. I mean, that's as fast as we can go practically. So there you are. But maybe yeah, we'll go ahead and do another save. I think it's time to evolve the star a little more, as we need a little more action going on. So here you are. Okay, so luminosity wise, so does this actually make the star larger as well? I know it doesn't. Okay, so we have to manually sort of make the star bigger then. So you can see as time passes, we are getting a little larger star wise. Then obviously luminosity. So you see the red zone slowly going to increase. As you can see, it's starting to reach Beowulf's orbit, which is this sort of yellower coloured one. So the one before the green orbit in the green zone. So you can see 7 luminosity now. So a little larger, a little brighter. So then we'll just have to see sort of how the planets are doing now. So let things just calm down a bit. There you are. Okay, so how are we doing in here? So we can see Trantor's in the 130s. Okay, Helgod 440, so that's gone up around 40 degrees. Korot 650. We can start to see it's glowing hot underneath those clouds. I mean, if we have a sort of a close look at the sky, so you can see it's glowing hot. I'm sure the surface is starting to melt, as you can see here. So you can see, yep, starting to become molten underneath. So you can see, yeah, this planet's not going to last too much longer. With its clouds, they're probably going to disappear when it starts getting really hot. So you can see a very, very barren dead world under there. Alrighty, so then we have Helgod. Yep, you're still sort of Venus sort of temperatures. Ooh, now that's a change. Sea God and Cryotopia, they've had some sort of interaction. And Sea God's atmosphere is completely gone. What has happened there? So atmosphere's completely had it. Cryotopia, how are you doing? So 84, but they're sharing a similar orbit there. So we could see a collision and ejection. These orbits aren't going to be staying the same. There's something will definitely happen there. We can see it. Beowulf still minus 10 degrees. It's getting there. We are getting there, so it's still getting a Capoodle minus 10 as well. Okay, but I'm very interested to see Cryotopia and Sea God. Those orbits are very, very close together now. So let's just let things run. You can just keep an eye on their orbits. There's no way that's going to last. There's going to have to be something happen. So let's see how that works. I mean, they're going to have a flyby eventually. Let's just keep an eye on the orbits out there as well. But it's mainly the inner system where most of the stuff's going on. So just keep an eye on those two orbits. Oh, there you go. Okay, so who was that? So that was Sea God. So now you can see its clouds actually return when it gets too cold. So let's just see how this lets us play. Oh, so its orbit's having an interesting change. So there you go. Okay. So as it gets too close, the clouds disappear. So here it is. So it's leaving the star at the moment. So we can see it's losing temperature. As it gets to the Capoodle area, so it's at minus 12, it's still getting colder. So there you go. So I'm guessing it will... I mean, as soon as it gets past into that red zone again, it will start warming up. But for the time being, it's actually, yeah, getting too cold. So that has had a drastic effect on it. So it's actually, its clouds and lifelike conditions, in theory, can return for a short period of time. I'm guessing the ocean is returned underneath, yep. So you can see. Okay. So now it's actually getting cold. But as it starts to approach the star again, it's got more greenhouse than the other planets. So it's already warming up before it even gets to Capoodle's orbit. And as you can see, it is re-entering. And as it goes into that red zone, it's going to get really hot really quickly, as we can see. Goes up to 210 roughly, and then it flies out again. Okay, right. So anyways, let's continue. So that orbit's still having changes. I mean, that gas giant could do something to it if it gets too close to that as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. So let's continue. So how fast can we run? Can we go any quicker? We can see its orbit still having changes. Interesting stuff there. Maybe the other planet as well, in there, was it Cryotopia? Maybe that one have a sort of change in effect as well. If they all just meet in the wrong place at the wrong time. You can still see its orbit's getting very close to that gas giant's orbit on the edge of the blue area there. So remember, that gas giant's responsible for this object out here, this green one here. That one's all being affected by the banded 27 here. So if this gets too close to Sea God, we could see something interesting go on there. So yeah, I just have to wait and see, really see how fate plays out here. So let's just continue speeding it up. Ooh. Okay. Actually, in the meantime, while this is playing out, we're gonna have more interstellar travelers, but they're going to be sort of just little objects like we've had in our own solar system. So we're going to have a few sort of objects just approach the system, coming from obviously somewhere else in the universe. We can see they're going to fly by, just to sort of make things a little more interesting. Maybe they'll stick around, maybe they won't, but there you go. So just a few objects that have had a little flyby, but obviously they haven't had much of an effect, obviously, because they are asteroids at the end of the day. But just a little more, a few little things. So there we are. Okay, so how are the orbits looking? So whereabouts has Sea God gone? Oh, so as you can see, it's now been pushed out of the inner solar system. Because remember, it was crossing orbits of Cryotopia at one point down here. But now, it's actually further out than Capoodle is. on a permanent basis. Look, it's, yeah. Okay, so you can see that this object, it did get too hot and uninhabitable, but now, as it's cooled away, it's actually in a decent state. I mean, it's going to minus 30 degrees, so it's actually on the colder end of the spectrum now. It doesn't actually warm up past 0 degrees hardly, so very interesting stuff indeed. Has quite a close flyby with that gas giant. I mean, that gas giant is still really close to all of this going on. I mean, that's not going to last forever. We can definitely tell something's going to go on there. Where's our interstellar travellers? Yeah, they're all gone, so obviously we can just delete those because they've all flown by. So there you are. Okay, so I see no changes there. I was hoping that maybe the star would pick up one or two, but oh well. So let's continue. Right, let's go again. Yep, and maybe a little more star evolution time. I mean, we're going to save as well, so we're going to jump to another sort of time now. So there we are. So star-wise, how large are we looking? So comparing it to Sun, 2.81 suns. So we can see, yeah, it's getting pretty big. So we'll have a little more of an increase in radius. Luminosity will probably go to around 8.5, maybe up to 8. Actually, there you are. So don't want to go too quickly. So you can see that green zone is getting quicker, or green zone is getting further out. So how's our? So the next planet we should be looking at is Beowulf here. So it looks like we may start to see some temperature. Yes, you can see there's temperature there. So that just hit 0 at one point there. So we can see when its orbit gets closer to the star, which is on this side of the star, you can see it goes up to 2 degrees. So you get a little tiny bit of temperature going on there for this potential life world. Okay, Capoodle, how are you doing? So that goes to, let's see, need a little more temperature just to get it going. It goes up to 2 degrees, 3 degrees. Okay, cool. Sea God, how are you doing? So that's oh, cold. It's too cold now. The clouds have disappeared. Oh, there's the clouds. Okay, so you can see when it gets too cold, the clouds vanish. So, wowee. So 1 minute ago it was getting too hot and its clouds are vanishing, but now it's getting too cold and its clouds are vanishing. So it's completely opposite end of the spectrum. We can also see at this object here, there's also, may start to see some temperature as it gets into the green zone as well. So you can get a bit of warmth. But yeah, there you go. Sea God completely loses its clouds on that further part of its orbit. And then they reappear as it gets warmer again. That's cool. Alright, nice. Okay, so let's continue. Continue running, see if anything changes. So that inner system though, whew, you can see, yeah, look, there's stuff changing. Look, is that Sea God? Look at Sea God's orbit now. All because it had a clash with Cryotopia. It's been pushed out and it's now being affected by that gas giant. So it probably won't ever be in the inner solar system again. It's now sort of in the outer, more of the outer areas. Look how far it goes out. I mean, look, it's on the edge of the blue zone now. Oh, now it's in inwards again. Oh man, that's had us some pretty crazy stuff. Look, its orbit's almost reaching the second gas giant now. Look, Sea God. So if it gets picked up by the second gas giant, it could have an even further orbit. But you can see its orbit is still changing. So that is pretty hectic stuff. So yeah, the most action-packed area is definitely in between the sort of the two closer gas giants. So I mean, out here it's fairly all right, but it's those two gas giants, man. There's some real effects going on there. I still see it this green orbit. I mean, this one has been changing for ages. This green planet one. I mean, it's just won't make its mind up where it wants to go. So pretty hectic stuff. How we're doing on the inner areas, we see Cryotopia and Trantor are now probably dueling for that orbit space, as we can see there. So they could see something happen between those two at some point. So keep an eye on those two orbits in the red area too. Right, let's continue. Come on, game, give us something interesting. Come on. A little more star evolution as well, just to warm things up a little more. I mean, maybe the green zone needs to get up. I really want to see when Beowulf and Capoodle get their time to shine with temperature, because there's still just not enough to get it melted. So yeah, that's a bit annoying. I mean, that should be having clouds on it, so maybe it's got a bit of frozen glitch going on. I mean, if we add and remove a bit of water, I mean, it should be looking more like this at the moment, but obviously frozen glitch has other plans. Very, very frustrating, but maybe we'll have to try and fix it with a quick little fix. I mean, see if this still works. Maybe we'll have to save it and reopen it, because I mean, that used to be a way to fix it, so we can try that. So once they get enough temperature, though, we'll give it a go. So there we are. Alright, come on, game. Come on. Give us something good. So you can still see those orbits are still having a real interesting change. But I think it's back to the star. Little more temperature, so we're getting a little more luminosity. Getting larger as well as time passes. So you can see the little zone there. Okay, so how are we doing temperature-wise now? Cryotopia, a world once looking good, has now all burnt out by the looks of it. Trantor, 160 degrees there. Beowulf, how you doing? So it's getting close. Oh, ho, ho, that's way too quickly. Apologies. So let's head back there. There you go. Let's just slow things down. So let's, there you are. Okay, so Beowulf, how are we doing? So 3 degrees, it should be seeing some temperature. Come on, 6 degrees. So how does it stay positive or does it go back to the negatives? No, it still goes into the minuses. Okay, so it's still on the edge of it. Capoodle, next planet out. Same story with you, I'm guessing. Banded 27, one of the first of the gas giants. Look how far out. Where is... Oh, look at Sea God now. Oh, it's completely... I mean, there's the second gas giant. It's almost reaching the third gas giant now. Wowee. And then you can see the other one, GM11. It's still just... Yeah, those gas giants have just been absolutely butchering their orbits. They just cannot get in a good spot. I think they're permanently going to be like that. They're never going to get in a good position now. Oh! Oh, no way. Look at Sea God now. Oh, man, that could be some drastic effects. Look at that. I mean, if it gets picked up by another planet out there, it could be all over for Sea God, and it will just never get a good spot again. I mean, look, if it just has to get too close to that gas giant further out, and then it could be all over. I mean, look at that. I mean, that is... that's not good. All it needs to do is get too close to one of the gas giants in the outer part there, and it will be all over. I mean, it could get picked up completely by a moon. It could just get ejected. I mean, that is not looking good. This world was once hot. This world was once in the 200-degree area, and now it's just... Yeah, okay. This was a planet once that had life, but I don't think anymore with these constant changes. So that's a bit of a shame. Well, 0 dear. And you can see this GM11 planet. I mean, this one is now getting an even closer orbit. Look at this. It's now going into the orange area. So it's kind of swap positions with Sea God. So as we can see, it approaches the red zone now, and that is going to warm it up drastically. Look, it's got oceans. It has oceans, and then it freezes again. But yeah, there you go. So this world's starting to see a bit of lifelike conditions, but its orbit, though, is this unstable orbit. That's not going to help out much. As you see, back to the inner solar system, Trantor and Cryotopia, they still got very similar orbits. Not looking good there. Beowulf, how are we doing? So it still gets too cold, so we still need more star evolution to get that planet going. But for now, we're going to continue with time to evolution, let things play, keep an eye out on the system. You can see, oh my gosh, look at Sea God now. Look how far away it is. So that's in the dwarf planet area. Look, these are all of the outer dwarf planets that never really got... I mean, this is, yeah. I mean, in theory, it's one of the last planets now. I mean, where's the last gas giant? I mean... Its orbit is probably passing the last sort of gas giants. I mean, how far away are we from the star here? Let's have a look. So, orbit. So this is roughly 67 AU, 66 AU. Oh my god, it's gone so far away. Wowee. Okay, so it's going to fly in again, but it's just, I think it's game over for this object. I mean, maybe it comes back in. I mean, I don't know. It's all unpredictable. But we'll see as it flies in and out, it does pick up a lot of speed. So, I mean, it could have a... Oh! Now it's reaching the furthest point. I mean, that is... How far away are we now? I mean, this must be almost 100 AU now, surely. It is roughly 130 AU. It's doubled. It's practically double. Oh, man. That's going to go. Surely. I mean, that is a big speed boost it gets with the gravitational boost of the star there. I mean, that could get rid of it completely. Surely. I mean, that is... Wow, let's continue. Let's speed up. Oh, so we're running at fastest simulation speed, actually, so... Damn. That's some serious problems there. So let's just continue to watch it play out and see. I reckon this... I don't think this is going to make it. I don't know. I honestly don't know, though. But, I mean, if its orbit keeps getting bigger and bigger, it's just going to get a massive speed boost from the star, where it just breaks away from the star's pull, really, and it just go too fast and escape. So that's a very interesting position now. Okay, right. Anyways, back to the star. I think it's a time. We're going to go for a save as well, because we've definitely had. I mean, if we look at the orbits, look how circular they all were there now. But if we press refresh, you can start to see it. They're starting to maybe break apart a bit more. I mean, yeah, they're not so circular now, a lot of them. So. Okay, in the solar system, how are we doing? Trantor and Cryotopia still going at it, but their orbits have changed as well. Anyway, back to the star itself. Maybe a little larger in size, so we're still getting bigger. Luminosity, got up to around 9.5 now, 9.4, that works. So getting bigger. So we should see it, Beowulf. This should be a planet constantly in temperature now. It should not be getting -degrees. So how are we doing? Oh, slow down. Whoa. 12 degrees. Yeah, so that world should not be freezing anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to, and the same with Capoodle, we're going to attempt to fix it. So what we're going to do is you do this. So you just do that. So it brings it up to this sort of here. Then you don't press play, and then the same Capoodle. And then we save and reopen the simulation completely. And that should hopefully... I mean, it used to be a way to fix them. I don't know if it... I mean, yeah, in this version of the game, yeah, it should work. So, save. There you go. So you have to save them as when they are... This was I always used to do this with old videos back in this version of the game. So now we're in update 23 here. So let's see. So if we press play now, does it fix it? Please, fingers crossed. Where are we? Fingers crossed. Yes. So there you go. Look, it's not frozen anymore. And then the same with Beowulf, I'm hoping... No, Beowulf still had Beowulf. Come on, man. So it worked with one, but not the other. So we can try doing Beowulf again. So you just have to do that. Okay, there you go. So maybe that will do it. And then save. So yeah, just a little way to get around this bug back in the old days was doing something along the lines of this. So let's try that again. Come on, Beowulf. Come on. That's Capoodle. Where's Beowulf? Nah, Beowulf still doesn't want to cooperate. Ah, we tried. Okay, maybe once it gets a little warmer, have to try that. So, anyways, on to planets with life. Capoodle and Beowulf are now the best potential spots. I mean, this one's still frozen, but it's got 62 and 82, so it's got some good stats going there. And then Capoodle, 87 and 24. So I mean, that's oh no, that was frozen again as well. Maybe it's still not warm enough. Maybe it still just doesn't like. I don't know. That's annoying. But yeah, just pretend those guys have got water on them. So let's continue. Orbits, how are we doing out here? Oh, that orbit of Sea God, man. That is some serious danger, what it's got there. Wowee. Oh, man. Come on, orbits. Ooh. Man, they are dangerously close. Wowee. Okay. But I think maybe another interstellar traveller. Oh, we can see those orbits are still haven't changed. But yeah, maybe it's time for another interstellar traveller. So I'm thinking a random gas giant. I have no idea what this is going to be. We're going to have it going... I want to have it going slower this time. So 100 meters. A very, very slow drifting gas giant. We're going to spawn that in there. So there he goes. So we're going to see what happens with that. So this object is 8 Earth's masses. It looks like an ice giant. Okay. So a rogue ice giant is now approaching the system. So we're going to see what happens there. I mean, maybe as it gets closer, it will speed up as well. So what's its speed? Yep. It's just going a bit all over the place, but it's going to take some time to arrive. I mean, we're running at maximum simulation speed, so it will take some time to arrive, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay. Anyway, back to the orbits. We can start to see that GM11 one as well. That one is now being tossed out again. And it looks like Sea God has re-entered. It's not as far out as it used to be now, so maybe it may still have hope in that case. Interesting stuff there. We got trails. How are the trails looking? There you go. See, there's the star. So you can see the star is constantly moving as well. So that's pretty cool. So all those gas giants, yeah, are pulling on the star. Rogue planet over there on its way, but the star in theory is traveling away from the rogue planet. So cool stuff there. Does look quite good on trail mode, because I mean orbit mode does look a little messy, but yeah, trail mode does look, it looks more smooth as well, less laggy. So it's weird how you see here it looks like it's not moving, but then as soon as you go on trail you can see the star is moving. I mean, if I just stop the camera from moving, you can see it, the star just moves away from my camera as well, so it's really cool. There we are. Okay, rogue planet. Yeah, there it is. So it's on its way. I mean, it's getting there. Sea God, what has happened? Look at that. Oh man, Sea God. Oh dear. That's okay. So there you go. You can see on its trail. So how are we doing? Oh, that thing does get a lot of speed when it goes out there. Look, keep an eye on its speed here. So it's 2.2 kilometers a second. Goes down to 1. Oh, there's the rogue gas giant. Rogue gas giant's entering. There he goes. And is it just gone? Oh my god, whoa. Speed, 367. That thing got absolutely flipped out. Oh my gosh. Damn. Sea God. Serious trouble over there. But yeah, rogue gas giant, that has just gone. Look how far away it's gone already. That thing just flew by really quickly. Okay. Anyway, back on the trail mode. So you can see, there's the gas giant. You can see it just hit the start and just went absolutely flying. Okay. See, maybe we need something a little larger. Maybe we'll have to have a red dwarf star fly through. Maybe that will upset it. So interesting. Sea God though, seriously not in a good shape. I mean, it's traveling very, very slowly now. It's going to take a long time for it to return here, but that's just had a very, very bad end of the stick there, just being in its position there. So that's not looking too good. Oh man. Actually, one thing I'm going to do as well is just a little secret setting. I want to go to, I think it's a view, isn't it? I want to put the little icons on. So it makes it have little dots. It's quite cool when you do that. So yeah, I'm gonna have that on. So yeah, the icons. Okay, cool. So you can see every planet has its own little sort of icon now when you look out. So just to spot the guys a little easier. So there you go. Since if I have no labels on at all, you can still see where some of the objects are, which is quite cool. So yeah, why not? Okay. Anyways, back onto the star. Got some serious stuff going on in there. So let's just go back to orbit mode. How are we looking out here? I mean, that is just that's crazy. Anyways, rogue gas giant, we can delete it, and it's God knows where now. I don't even know where it's. Where has it gone? There it is. Let's get rid of it. There he goes. That's better. Get rid of that orbit line. There you go. Okay. Back to the inner system though. Let's continue on. I think we'll have one more star evolution for today's video before we call it a day. So let's go ahead and do that now. So let's see, size-wise, getting bigger and bigger, a little bigger. It's annoying that the size doesn't go with the luminosity. That is annoying. So we're going up to around 10, 11 suns. We may start to be leaving the main sequence stage. I'm not sure where it sort of ends, really. I need to look into that more. But there you go. So the star is now bigger again. Oh, those orbits look crazy. All right. How are we doing out there? I mean, that's going to take quite a while to come back, Seagull. But when it does, we could see game over. I mean, who knows? But anyways, onto the planet. So Trantor. 190s now, Hell God, almost at 500. See Taurus 7Bs in the 700s now, so that's very, very hot. Cryotopia, how you doing? 158. Beowulf at a nice 14 to 27, so that's in good positions. Capoodle, again, yeah, they're the life worlds at the moment, so they're alright. Bandit 27, so that's the first of the gas giants, okay. And then GM11, this world did melt at one point to liquid water, but not anymore. Still see it. That's not looking too good there. Okay, cool. So there's our star evolved for today's video. So we're not going to do any more star evolutions. But yeah, Sea God. What is going to happen here? I think we'll have to see what happens before we end off today's video, guys. So let's just wait and see, really. So come on, Sea God, what is going to happen to you? We're on orbit mode. That orbit does look very risky indeed. Is it going to hang on or is it not? So we can see its speed is probably going to increase. You can see its speed there. So it's just flown by. It looks like it's still hanging on, but yeah, there we are. So we're going to leave it off there for today's video, guys. So I really, really hope you've enjoyed part 2 of this simulation. So there we are. Let's go ahead and give it a pause. I'm going to obviously press save. And yeah, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Do you think is that a slight improvement on star evolution? Because I know you did say last episode that I was doing it too quickly. So yeah, I'm hoping that's more to your satisfaction there. But yeah, let me know any feedback down below. What do you think of the rogue objects that fly in the system as well? Do we need something a little bigger, or is it fine the way it is? Let me know your thoughts down below on that as well. And also, let's see if we can go for 40 likes on today's video, guys. Subscribe for more. Help us on the journey to 30,000 subscribers. And yeah, if that all said and done, guys, make sure you have a great day. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.